at these people, they're having to mow 2 and 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I mean, even in the peak season, April, I'm 2 times maximum. I probably don't even need to mow 2 times. 1 time will probably cut it. It's just, in my opinion, it's just because they're applying a ton of fertilizer at one time, and probably the wrong type of fertilizer.
Listening to the Lawns and Life podcast, a show built for DIYers who like to learn, grow, and have a little bit of fun along the way. I'm your host, Devin, the DIY lawn coach, and as always, I am so happy to have you back for yet another week. Well, guys, I have the honor and the pleasure of being joined by my guest this week, Brad Annis, who runs the Prime Time Fescue channel here on YouTube. He is a fellow North Carolinian. He's a big lawn lover and a super down-to-earth guy who I'm really excited to get to talk to. So, Brad, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing, buddy?
Good to be here.
Hey, man, I really do appreciate you coming on. We were talking a little bit off camera, how you've never done anything like this before. So you're going to do just fine. Just sit back, relax, be yourself, and you're going to be just fine.
Technology is beyond my realm of things most of the time.
You have an absolutely gorgeous lawn. So can you tell people a little bit about your lawn, what your grass type is? Just kind of tell us a little bit about your
lawn. I'm 30,000 square feet. It's all turf tile fescue except for the one area. It used to be fescue. Obviously, I test my different seeds in that area now. It was Kentucky bluegrass, and now it's all Apex blue. 18,000 square foot of beds, 30,000 square foot of turf.
You have a beautiful lawn, right? You have super high standards to have a lawn that looks the way you do. My lawn is 20,000 square feet. So as someone a fellow neighbor of yours, having a big lawn is a challenge. So I know the amount of work and effort it takes to achieve what you're doing. So you're doing a phenomenal job.
It's a different animal having a bigger yard.
Yep. Would you want it any other way? Like, could you imagine having 2,500 square foot lawn?
Honestly, I would much rather have a 5,000 square foot yard, 10,000 square foot yard. Then I wouldn't have to have all the equipment I have to do it. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Isn't having the equipment the fun part, though? I mean,
it is the fun part, but it's also the very expensive part of it.
Right. So where does your love of lawn care come from? Like, where does this
all
passion?
Started from playing golf. I started playing golf when I was 7, 8 years old. I just love nice looking grass, and I went to college for it. Got recruited by CVCC for the golf team, and I knew before I got recruited I was going to go there to do turf grass management. So, done turf grass management, was in the golf industry, got out of the golf industry, and now I missed it and started going back to doing
So were
yard.
you a superintendent for a golf course?
Assistant.
Is that what you did, or
Assistant.
an assistant superintendent? Okay, awesome. And I guess that was here locally in North Carolina? Okay, awesome. Yeah. And you did that for how long?
From 99 to 2004, I believe it was.
Okay.
2004, awesome. 2005.
Okay. So you mentioned having a large lawn is a challenge. So what are some of the challenges? I mean, obviously you talked about the equipment, but what are some of the challenges that you run into having a big lawn?
The main thing is expense. I mean, it's to have a nice yard. I mean, it takes money, obviously. I can't say water is a big thing because I have a well, unreal well. I just hope nothing ever happens to it. It makes 75 gallons a minute. So, but I do have access. It also is tied in with the city in case I have to do it, which would cost me about $400 a month, then probably $500 a month. But I guess the biggest thing is just, I want it to all look the same. I don't want one area any different than the other. So, I mean, it's a full-time job. It's basically a full-time job trying to keep it exactly the same, looking good.
Yeah, the money. I mean, you think about fungicides and fertilizer, and I don't deal a whole lot with weeds, and I don't think you do either. But
I haven't
just
had, I don't think I've had a weed since 2019 when
yep.
I first started.
Why do you? What do you think attributes to that?
I sprayed two different. Well, I think the biggest thing is a lot of people don't do pre-emergent and put down two apps of pre-emergent versus one. Also, I use a product called Gallery 75DF. That is a broadleaf weed pre-emergent, unlike Dimension or Prodiming.
Yep.
So
Okay. I've never heard of that before. So
yeah,
tell me a little bit more about that particular pre-emergent.
I mean, you can buy it online. I actually use that in my beds also.
Okay.
Uh, Obviously, it doesn't work as good on rocks with the amount of heat, but I mean, that's the ticket
Yeah.
as
Is
far as.
okay. Yeah. So you talked about a split application. So it kind of for people who don't know, explain what do you mean? What are you talking about? A split application. What does that mean?
You take the full max yearly rate and split that basically down the middle. Like for here in North Carolina, it's typically the first app is end of February, 1st of March, and then another app, Aprilish, 1st of May, something like that.
Okay. All right. But we kind of just dove in here, but before we do that, I want to go back to last year. For those that don't follow your channel, you had a really bad deal with fungus last year, and you were about as frustrated as I think I've seen you in a while. So can you what happened? What if you had to go back and do it again? Like what would you do differently to try to maybe mitigate what happened?
So let me say this: I am not 100% sure it was fungus. The more I think about this, I'm starting to lean towards something called wet wilt. Um, it's basically the soil is so saturated and so hot, the roots can't, even though the soil is saturated, they can't use any water. So there's no oxygen there. So the plant can't absorb any water from the roots. And it dies. If it wasn't that, it's some kind of pythium. Wasn't pythium blight. Wasn't gray leaf spot. There was no lesions, no mycelium. It's basically where the water runs, but there's no spots. Like pythium, you would see it running down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that. It was basically where the water settles. Now,
So is that okay? So I think you mentioned in the video it may have been like root rot. Is that the
if,
same
if it
thing?
wasn't if it wasn't wet wilt, it had to be pythium root rot.
Yeah. Um, I'll be honest with you. There's a couple places in my lawn that I struggle with every single year, and it really does that same thing. It gets that same color that just turns that dark black color.
Yeah,
It kind of has a smell to it. It just looks really unhealthy, and you can literally just pull the grass up, and it like is all
yeah.
sticky and
It's
it's
dead. I mean,
nasty.
it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it turns like a kind of a golden brown color, sort of,
Yep.
kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't have any. What's crazy is anywhere that I had partial shade, there was none, zero. So this is why I'm thinking it's wet wilt, because the
The tree,
sun,
maybe the tree roots absorbed some of that water that would be
possibly so,
standing,
possibly so.
or could have limited the amount. I mean, because you think about a tree canopy prevents the water from maybe
Right.
reaching the ground quite as much. Maybe you might be onto something there for sure.
Could have
Uh,
possibly. I mean, even beyond the trees, there was none. It was basically just around my beds and where the water runs off in puddles. I wish I could put a picture on here, but I've got a picture of where it runs off my beds. and that place just got wiped out. And you can see it was raining that day, and you can see the water standing right there where it's just puddling right at the bed edge.
Okay, so is there anything you could have done?
I mean, for me with the equipment, I could certainly do like a spike aeration just to open the ground up, even a core aeration just to open the ground up to help drainage and help oxygen get to the roots.
Mm-hmm.
And any homeowner could do that if it was, my problem is I waited too long and it was so wet I couldn't get on it to do anything.
I think you anytime you have something going on in the lawn, I think the first thing we have to do is kind of diagnose what's happening. And
Right.
sometimes by the time you are diagnosing it or you're kind of waiting on it to develop and kind of turn into this thing, like it's almost like too late at that point. I
Too
mean,
late.
you're a big believer in preventative fungicides, right? Like you're on a program.
I mean, here, there's not any choice. This is a different animal here in North Carolina. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah.
Fungicides don't last 21 or 28 days in the heat. They don't do it. 14 days. I mean, that's why I can't see it being fungus for one thing. I mean, I see no lesions, no mycelium whatsoever. I mean, it just basically died.
Yep.
There was nothing.
And it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating to see your beautiful lawn. Just, it's so frustrating.
It is. I mean, it's
so what did you end up doing to mitigate to rid the problem? I think you did core aerate. I think. What else did you do?
I did a spike aeration, but I mean, fortunately, the rain just kind of stopped. I mean, it was 15 inches from basically the end of June to 1st of August, middle of August. I mean, a month and a half, 2 months, 15 inches of rain. And it's the worst time of day. I mean, it happens at 3 o'clock and then the sun comes out every day.
Sometimes, and I think that's what makes lawn care so challenging is because sometimes you just throw your hands up and say, there is nothing I could do. I literally did everything that I could, and there's nothing else I can do.
I spent any amount of money it took to put on it. I done it. So there's nothing else I could do. I mean, there was greens here, local golf courses. I mean, they're bent grass greens here. I mean, they lost greens. Yeah. Same thing. I mean, it's not like they're not applying the fungicides. There's just nothing they could do.
And every day at 3 o'clock, you get that thunderstorm, and you just know that there's nothing. I mean, short of laying a tarp over it, there's nothing you can do.
That's it.
Yeah, it's tough.
And like my Kentucky bluegrass area that I had, I mean, I got to say that's probably probably one of the nicest standards turf I've ever been associated with. I mean, it just went all to pieces, and the water runs off my driveway straight to that area. The upper end of it really wasn't bad. It's just where the water constantly puddled and run. I mean, it's for grass nerds, it's disheartening. I mean, it really
is. It's frustrating, and it's expensive because you've got a lot of repair to do as well, and 30,000 square feet, and so it's quite cumbersome.
And the bad part is when you go to repair stuff like that, unless your whole yard's in bad shape, I mean, it's just a ton of spot seeding. So, I mean, it's not like you can overseed the yard heavy enough for those dead spots, then it ends up too thick.
Yep.
So it's just turns into manual labor, equipment or not.
Why do we do this? Why are we even doing this? Why do we love this so much? Right?
I guess because when you see it in the fall and spring,
there you go.
That just suckers you into it.
Yeah, when you're at that fall or spring when it's striping hard and you throw that drone up in the air and that's why we do it. That's why we do it.
That's it. I mean, that's it.
So obviously that happened, and then we kind of transition into fall. You mentioned the rain kind of stopped, and this fall for us was a really dry fall. Right, I think for a lot of the country, it was a really dry fall. Luckily, you have irrigation, so that helps. But unfortunately, a lot of people did not have irrigation.
There is a tremendous amount of people that's going to have to do some reseeding.
So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit because you have some. You just made a video a couple days ago about maybe some new grass seed. I really want to talk to you about that because I think that's really exciting
Okay.
for you. Um,
Right.
but so let's just jump right in. So you have a website that you have other products available outside of just grass seed. So talk to me a little bit about your website, what you have available. I see you have a hat on for plant food. Talk
Right.
to me a little bit about that.
So my website's primefescue.com. I sell my grass seed exclusively on there. It's my own blends. And I sell Plant Food Company liquid fertilizer. Um, I use Plant Food Company in the golf industry, and I just brought it here to the yard. And it's the only thing I've ever pretty much used in my yard. 2019 is when I first redone the first area, and 2020 started using it in the yard.
And it's all liquid. I don't think it's any granular, right? It's all
It
all
is. It is
liquids.
all liquid. It is all liquid.
Okay. Um, why liquids as opposed to granulars?
So, believe it or not, I have done 2 soil texture tests here, and my soil is a sandy clay. It's like 55% sand, 34% clay, and the rest of it's silt. The CEC is extremely low for a lawn. It's 6 to 6.2, so it holds no nutrients. So, being in the golf industry, just like I was, obviously you're dealing with a sandy based soil.
Hmm.
It just requires more input versus a lawn with a higher CEC because there's nothing there. So that's mainly the reason why I do liquids. Also, the main reason is to control the growth in the spring. Um, I'm a firm believer that nitrogen causes gray leaf spot causes pythium. Um, so I can control the input a whole lot better than doing granular fertilizer.
Yeah, yeah, and I talk a lot about this on my channel too, and you do this on your channel as well. Liquids for guys with big lawns, liquids are the ticket because you can add multiple applications, put them in one
Yeah,
tank, and spray it out. Look, I can't, when it comes to putting out a fertilizer, I can't mix that in the same hopper as other, other things. So I just when I make that application, if it's a liquid, I can throw in my fungicide, I can throw in my pesticide, I can throw in
right.
my, I'm going to put in my pre-emergent for whatever. I can combine all these applications together
Do it all at one
and
time.
and do it all at one time and go back
Right.
in the house where it's not 95 degrees. Yeah.
Right. I also do it just simply because I spray and feed small frequent amounts. It's hard to put down a tenth of a pound of granular fertilizer, even a quarter pound of granular fertilizer. It's hard to put it down. Um, so that's just the way I do it, just simply because of the CEC basically, and to control the growth.
Hmm.
I'm not
We,
against granular fertilizer. I might even try some this year just to see, just being that it is a low CEC to have some more in the soil.
hmm.
But
Yeah.
you never know.
So you mentioned smaller applications. You think that that's maybe a reason why your lawn looks the way it is because you're not dumping a whole bunch of nitrogen all at one time, getting a huge flush of growth. Like, talk about
Yeah, I see these
why is it
people. I
important?
see these people. They're having to mow 2 and 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Even in the peak season, April, I'm 2 times maximum. I probably don't
Hmm.
even need to mow 2 times. 1 time will probably cut it. Um, it's just, in my opinion, it's just because they're applying a ton of fertilizer at one time and probably the wrong type of fertilizer to
Okay.
boot.
Okay. So what is the wrong type of fertilizer? What should we be
I
using?
am 100% against an all fast release from April on. It can have a little fast release in it, but I'm just totally against AMS and urea that time of year.
Hmm.
Uh, I would rather use something it can have a little fast release in it, but it's got some slow release in it also. Now for end of February app, 1st of March,
Right. Yeah.
nitrate, AMS, completely all for it. End of fall, I'm
Fall.
all for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm curious. So how long, like, what day of the week do you typically mow? Like you'll mow like on a Wednesday evening, get home from
Typically
work, and
Wednesday.
then maybe a
Yep.
Saturday or something.
Yeah, typically Wednesdays. Obviously, when it gets thunderstorm season, you're kind of fighting whenever you can
Yep.
do it.
Of course.
But typically on a Wednesday.
And then so on a Saturday, like if you were to, do you edge every single time you mow?
Every two mows.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
So
I've got 18,000 square foot of bed.
yeah.
It's a nightmare to edge. I don't even know
So
if I'm gonna
start
get
to
one.
finich, how long does it take you? If
If
you were
I
to edge
bust
and
it,
do it the night, do it, enjoy the mow. How long?
if to mow and edge, or
Mm-hmm.
just to edge.
No, just to mow and edge everything, like to get the
So
lawn looking good.
to mow, I mean, it's probably an hour to mow, 45 minutes to an hour. It's not too bad, but to edge, I mean, it's 2.5 hours, easily 3 hours.
And
When it's hotter,
what do you mow with?
I have a Toro grandstand, 52 inch. I also have a 48 inch. The
Okay.
52 for your viewers, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're shopping for a mower, buy the highest horsepower mower you can buy, because there is a difference in the cut quality between. Even though I got a 48 inch grandstand and a 52 inch grandstand, the 48's like 22 horsepower and the 52's 35. The cut quality is insanely different.
Okay.
Same
Okay.
deck, just a smaller size.
Yeah. And then what do you edge with? Like, do you just a string trimmer?
Yep. I have a string trimmer and I use this cheating wheel. It's called an Emergent Pro.
Okay.
Obviously, all my beds are rocks.
Yep.
So, and with 18,000 square feet, I get a little tired of holding the string trimmer up. So I'll just roll that wheel, and it's unbelievable how good that thing is.
Yes, we're not spring chickens anymore, are we?
I mean, I'm
It hurts your
46, and
back. It hurts your back.
I mean, I got a
Yeah.
busted knee, and now I got a severe case of plantar fasciitis.
Yep.
I tell you what, I'm hoping I can be able to do this stuff this year. It's bad. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't hardly walk.
Yeah. I hear
It's so
you.
bad.
I hear you. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but um, so we were talking a little bit about the rough spring, all right, or rough fall being dry, all right. So
Right.
naturally, that's going to lead people into maybe considering spring seedings, all right. So where do you stand on seeding in the spring?
I mean, if you got to do it, you got to do it. But without irrigation, I would be happy with 50% surviving without irrigation. I mean, with irrigation, maybe 75%. Obviously, it's young grass, so I mean, it's just like a baby. It just don't have the immune system that an older, a middle aged mature adult does. Same goes for
Okay.
grass.
Obviously, we're talking about us and our climate, which, for those of you who don't know, North Carolina, the heat is one thing, but it's that humidity that is a whole nother ballgame. And then the nights don't cool off sometimes. I mean, we'll be
Right.
75 degrees. The crickets are chirping, and
100% humidity.
water is just running down your house because it's so humid.
Yeah. The humidity. Let me say this. My buddy Todd, I was telling you about, he's got the same weather station I have. It's the Tempest weather station. I am here where I'm at. I am 3% higher average humidity, simply because I'm at the base of the mountains and I'm in a bowl.
Yep.
I mean, it's my average humidity for the average for July and August was 86%. The average
Wow.
humidity.
Wow. Yeah, and that in itself makes growing turf really challenging.
Bermuda would
Um,
love it.
yeah, for sure.
Not cool season though.
So if you're up, I mean, if you're up in like Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, Northern Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, I mean, maybe your nights cool off a little bit and you get a little bit of reprieve overnight, and maybe
Right.
you have a little bit better success with growing in the spring. but especially here in our area, we're in the what we call the transition zone, and it can be very challenging. To grow grass in the spring and get it to try to survive all the way through into summer.
Right.
But I had a rough spring. I'm sorry, I had a rough fall. I'm gonna spring seed. What advice would you give me?
Tenacity for one thing. Obviously, springs when all the weeds are coming. You can't do a traditional pre-emergent, so tenacity.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Yeah.
Uh, Spray it, get your grass up, mow it 2 times, put a pre-emergent down. You're never too late for a pre-emergent. Anything's better than nothing.
Okay.
Um,
Per
if
diamond,
I had my
diapir,
choice
does it
for
matter?
if I had my choice for a spring seeding, I would use dithiopyr, dimension, same thing. Just go on out with a full app. It's 0.75 ounces per 1,000 square feet, I believe. And that'll also, if you do have some crabgrass, it'll do post-emergent
Mm-hmm.
crabgrass control. Obviously, you have to use a surfactant with it. It might be acetyl, I can't remember, but um, let it sit 24 hours and then water it in for the pre-emergent activity.
Yep.
If you've got crabgrass,
So tenacity is just to kill maybe any weed because we've got baby grass that we're trying to grow into a full plant. And we got a lot of competition from the weeds and the bugs, and so if we can, if like you said, if we can get 50% of our lawn to survive and make it back into fall, we would consider that a win, right?
right?
Um, So and then in the fall, right, you can then overseed again and kind of be on your normal schedule.
That's the
Um,
time to do it. I mean, it's
yeah,
just got so much more time to mature over the winter. Just because it's not growing up, don't mean it's not growing down
yep,
in the winter. And to a point, if it gets so cold, then obviously the roots are going to stop growing too. But it's going to grow. You can have soil temperatures 32, and the roots are still going to grow.
yeah, yep, yep. So talking about your grass seed for a second, um, how exciting is it to have your own grass seed? I mean, that's so cool.
I mean, I'm blessed beyond belief to have this. First, I got to thank United Seeds. I mean, I've bought grass seed from them from the very beginning. Dan there, he's the manager at United Seeds. I mean, he had enough faith in me, I guess, because of my yard to,
Mm-hmm.
to be willing to work with me. Um,
Yeah.
it all started basically me blending my own seed. I've always blend my own seed. I just buy individual cultivars and blend them together to try to get the best blend possible. I mean, my yard's obviously it's got titanium GLS in it. It's got Avenger 3. It's got all that. Um, I decided to do what's now Apex. It's going to be Apex Elite, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. But so it's Daybreak, Bonfire, Xanadu, and Providence. And I started using that not last fall, I guess 2024. And it was just a different ball game for me when I seeded with that. I mean, it just looked so much, for some reason, it just looked so much better. I don't know why. Obviously, those other cultivars are fantastic also. Maybe just everything took.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
So how did you settle on those? I mean, did you do any testing? Did you just look at like in-tep trials? Like what? How did you
I
pick
basically
those?
look at Intep. I mean, that's any seed distributor, United Seeds, Pete, Twin City Seed. I mean, they're just looking at the Intep for it. Obviously, I knew if I was going to sell seed, I could not put something in it that's the market's flooded with. And there's nothing wrong with the cultivars, but the Mountain View seed stuff. I mean, you've got Peach, you've got Artemis. I mean, there's several others. So, what's going to separate me from those? So, I just started looking and picking out, you know, the highest rated cultivars you could get. I mean, the stuff that's in mine, if you go down the list, there's 4 cultivars in it in the top 13 on the NTEP for turf overall turf quality. And when I say top 13, I don't mean the score. I mean you counting 13 cultivars. There's 4 of
Right.
them in it in the top 13. It's probably the top 4 for overall score
Yeah.
if you look at the scores. Top 4 to 5.
Okay, so what does that mean? I mean, so I'm gonna get better color. I'm gonna get like what does that mean?
Basically, like overall turf quality is every test that NTEP does is just averaged together and it gives you an overall mean. So GLS resistance, color, brown patch, everything they test, that's what gives you the overall turf quality mean when they add those up and average them out.
So I'm gonna ask kind of a silly question,
Okay?
but just entertain me for a second. So, I mean, how much is a bag of grass seed? Like a 50-pound bag of grass seed?
From me,
Yeah. Hmm.
it's 170 and the shipping's included.
Okay. But I can go to Home Depot and pick up a bag for $70. Why? What's the difference?
Well, typically the first thing is you're going to have other crop and weed seed in it, and then you're just getting floor sweepings for cultivars basically. I mean, it all starts. Any good lawn starts with grass seed, having the good grass seed. That's just the pure facts. If you ain't got good grass seed, you ain't gonna have a good yard.
Yep. Agreed. And I was kind of a loaded question. I knew the answer to that question, but I
Right.
just wanted, you'd talk about applying fungicides and applying um, nitrogen to your lawn to help improve the color. I mean, if you start off with a really nice grass seed that is more resistant to fungus, you end up not having to apply as much fungicide, or you don't have to make as many applications of fertilizer or things to try to improve the color because you've got a really good looking turf to start with.
Right. And I think the biggest thing, including myself, is we probably all over fertilize more than what we really need to be honest with you. Um, I mean, I hate to admit it, but it's probably true.
Well, I guess for me, when I hear you say that, for me, I kind of get antsy sometimes. Like I haven't
Yeah.
done anything to the lawn, and I just want to go do something,
Lean
So
is mean. I can tell you that. My mom's yard, I redone it several years ago. I mean, it's not the best now because, I mean, she don't like to put a lot of money into it. But I will tell you this: it didn't get any fertilizer last year, and there was absolutely no gray leaf spot. Now it did get brown patch, no gray leaf spot, no pythium with all that rain,
hmm
and it's
makes you wonder,
still
doesn't it? Yeah,
decently green.
it's so last year I challenged myself to try to apply less
Right,
fertilizer, less, and if I'm being honest with myself, the less I applied, the better my lawn actually looked. To a point, but I probably applied less fertilizer last year than I've ever applied, and
right.
had no issues with fungus like I have in years past. Um, so
Yeah,
there's
I
something to
only
be
like
said for that.
as far as spring. I'm around a pound of nitrogen, and you got to think our season starts typically February, and that's a pound of nitrogen from the end of February till overseed. That's about what I normally do.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's not a lot. Now that is liquid, right? So that's, I
it is
mean,
liquid.
so typically, and I know for me, okay, I'll ask you, what is a normal application rate of pounds for a liquid fertilizer do you apply? Is it like a tenth of a
A tenth,
pound?
tenth of a pound every
Yeah,
2 weeks. That's what
yeah.
I do.
So if you do that
Um,
10 times, that would be a pound.
right, right.
Okay. So I'll leave links down below where people can go check out your grass seed. It's available in what sizes? 25, 50,
Uh,
10.
I've got so many blends coming now. So we've got uh, Apex. It's called Apex Elite now. So I'll just explain that real quick. Um, it's always been Daybreak, Bonfire, Xanadu, Providence. Well, now I'm adding in Stealth, which is another top 10 cultivar, and it's the number one rated for drought resistance.
And these are all
Daybreak,
fescue. These are all fescues, right?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
Daybreak is the #1 rated for overall turf quality. I mean, they can see it. Maybe I can send you something or show you or something. But so we have Apex Elite. Stealth has not come in yet. So about the 1st of March, the Stealth will be added to it. Apex Blue, that is the same cultivars in Apex Elite, but with acoustic Kentucky bluegrass added to it. Then I have Apex Twilight, which is an all Kentucky bluegrass blend. 2 new blends coming as DEFCON. That is geared towards extreme GLS resistance.
I love the name, by
Extreme.
the way. I love the name and the
Um,
graphics too. The little graphics logo that
it's
you have for
I
that one's
mean,
cool.
it's Daybreak, Bonfire, which is 1 and 2 for Gray Leaf Spot, and Triad, which is right below that for the fescue. And then it's got Revenge 2 GLX Perennial Ryegrass for that darker color, but it's also, I can't remember, it's 1 or 2 for Gray Leaf Spot. And then there's Star Kentucky Bluegrass, which is the #1 bluegrass for overall turf quality.
Okay.
So it's extreme disease resistant, even with perennial ryegrass and Kentucky bluegrass. And then the last one's called Totality. It's a KBG PRG blend, and I'm actually more excited for that than anything. I might peel off the Apex Blue and try it again or something. Try it.
Would that work in our, perennial ryegrass and bluegrass? I mean,
It
you
would
can't.
be very, very hard to make that work. I think the DEFCON will work. I mean, my Kentucky bluegrass last year, there was no heat stress on it whatsoever. Just the rain wiped it out. And it was unbelievable in June before the rain started.
Yeah, yeah, it was gorgeous. And how tight were you mowing that? You were mowing it
I
pretty
was
pretty
mowing
tight.
that at, I think it's about an inch in
Oh, so that's not
June.
really that wasn't too bad. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's still
started
pretty
off at
good.
a ½ inch and then went to 3/4 or ½ inch, 5/8, 3/4, then an inch. And then
Would you ever consider going warm season turf?
I
Would you
think
ever do
about it
that?
every single day. Every single day.
Especially June and July, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess this grass seed came from, I guess, maybe a lot of people watching your channel were like, "Hey, what grass seed are you using?" Asking you for it. Is that kind of what made you want to start selling your
Every
own
bit of
grass?
this, every bit of this stemmed from Facebook. I just like anybody else, I post in Facebook groups, like to show the yard off, and I mean, it just people's asking me what seed and what fertilizer I use. I mean, unfortunately, I can't give them the answer because unless they blended their own seed, they couldn't get it, which they could if
Right.
they bought individual cultivars. The fertilizer, it's not readily available to the public. Um,
Mm-hmm. So you're
so
just making it accessible for them, yeah, which is great.
I'm making it
Yeah.
accessible, and I mean, before I ever started selling it, I created my own Facebook group just to help people.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of messages, and I truly love helping people. The amount of messages I get, it's just insane. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So I created
Yeah.
a Facebook group, and then I actually thought that was going to limit some of the questions, the private messages. I mean, it really didn't.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm spending a quarter of my day answering questions. I mean, these people want this stuff, but they can't get it.
And of course, you have a YouTube channel as well that does
Right.
pretty well. And your videos are very relaxed. They're very um, laid back. I mean, you just walk in the lawn. You're talking. You're being real. You're having a real conversation about. You don't hide anything. You do a great job with your videos. There's not a whole lot of like editing and all that funky stuff, but you do a really good
Well,
job. And
nobody's ever seen my face until this. There's a good reason for that because nobody wants to look at me. I'll tell you that
oh
much. But
yeah, you're doing good. This is a podcast. It is a video podcast, but there will be a non just audio version only. So
audio
people that
version.
don't want to watch your face, they don't have to watch it.
Well, they probably turn off when they see it. But um, I'm a firm believer. It's really, really hard to look at pictures and show what you really got. Unfortunately, social media has turned into nothing but looking at stripes. It doesn't matter if you have weeds. The stripes is what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like stripes, but I'm more concerned about the actual turf quality than stripes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see that in a picture as good as you can walking the yard taking video, in my opinion. The drone, I mean, it can hide stuff and it can also show stuff.
Yep.
But there's nothing better if you walk the whole yard. And I think that I pretty much, in my videos, I'll walk the whole yard.
Yeah. Well, keep it up, man. I wish you nothing but the best. I really appreciate you coming on and talking to me and showing your face. It's awesome. You're such an awesome dude, and I wish you nothing but the best. And good luck with your grass seed. If you want to send me some, I'll be glad to take it. And
I'll send you some.
I've got a little plot in the back we can do some testing on. I'd love to work with it. I think that's awesome. And I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to help people. I want more people in this industry experiencing the joy and satisfaction that I get from it. And that's exactly what you're doing. We're just trying to help people at the end of the day.
I mean, it all started with Facebook, and I kind of migrated a little bit to YouTube just to help people out, and the messages just kept coming and coming and coming. And like I mentioned earlier, I mean, it's basically spending a lot of time answering questions. So, if you like what you see here on for me, then the products are available. If you don't, then don't use them. That's basically what it is.
And there's obviously, enough people out there that are wanting that information. So that's great.
Right. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was so nice to get to talk to you, and wish you nothing but the best. Okay.
All righty. Thanks,